Aubrey, I heard you talk to a student yesterday. How did that go?
Yes, it was amazing. Nick, again, congratulations. It's so exciting when one of our students gets the scores they need and
So
move on with
amazing.
these amazing goals. He's going to be a nurse in California.
I
So
love
excited
it.
for him to be able to do that.
I love it. Guys, this is why we are here. Aubrey and I are on the mic twice a week, every week. We never miss a week for you guys because we want you to get the scores you need on IELTS and be done with this test. Get on to your future dream life, like being a nurse in Cali. That's awesome.
Yes, if you guys missed that episode, scroll up, be sure to listen to it and hit follow because you might be missing a lot of episodes if they're not being brought into your feed, right? If you're just kind of checking when you think there'll be a new one, 2 episodes every week. So be sure to hit follow.
Exactly. And some bonuses. I mean, you never know
Yes.
what's going to happen over here. All right. So we are very proud of Nick. Congratulations. And we are also excited to answer a question from another student, Maria Molly. This is a great reading question, guys. So listen up today because you are going to get a step by step strategy for one of the toughest reading question types. Aubrey, can you read that question, please?
Yes. So the email was Maria Mali, but looks like she gives a different name here. She says, "Hi there. This is
Oh,
Nazra Abdullah from Oman."
gotcha.
So there we go. Either way, hopefully you're listening. Give you a shout out
Sorry
for
about
such
that,
a good,
Nazra.
right? I would like to thank you for this incredibly incredible podcast. I love
Oh,
that. That's very clever.
that's fun.
It has extremely contributed to my English skills, and I
Yay.
appreciate it. Thank you. We
Awesome.
appreciate
Love
the
it.
thank you. Yeah. I have a question regarding IELTS reading. Could you share with us strategies that will help us perform well? Thanks in advance.
Awesome.
Mm,
Awesome. Yes. So, I mean, we would love to give you strategies for every single question type, right? We don't have time for that.
would
Um,
be here quite a while.
we're going to focus on the toughest question type, one of the toughest question types, though, today on the show. Because here's the thing, like, some of these questions are so different from each other. You're not going to have exactly the same strategies to find matching headings to paragraphs answers and true, false, not given answers. Like those are
Right.
totally different question types. You're not going to have the same strategies for them.
That's one thing Nick mentioned yesterday that he could tell really helped his score is in 3 Keys IELTS, he had the strategies for each different question type,
Yeah.
which really helped him get an idea of like how they're different and what I need to
Awesome.
do. And he practiced the steps for each one to master it before he moved on to the next one. This
I
is
love it.
vital. It's different strategies for every question type. And I love, first of all, that Nazra is realizing I need strategies. She's
Yes.
already kind of done half the battle, just realizing this is not just a comprehension exam. I can't just read the whole thing and expect to get all these questions right. You do need specific strategies for these different question types.
Exactly, exactly. So let's start with just some general tips, just defining what is this about matching headings to paragraphs. Because as a student or even as a teacher or a native speaker, if you have no experience with this question type, it is not obvious what it is. Like this is
Exactly.
not a user-friendly question. You can't just figure it out by looking at the instructions and the questions for the first time, right? So, what do our students need to know first?
Yeah, the headings are main ideas. So you're looking for the main idea in each of these paragraphs. And think of how much time you could waste if you didn't realize that. And you're reading the instructions a few times, like, what exactly am I looking? You want to know as much as you can about the exam and about these different question types before test day. Save yourself time.
Exactly.
As soon as you see the instructions, you know what to do.
Exactly. And a lot of 3 key students have gotten nines on IELTS reading. It's not about having, you know, perfect high level English. That's not what any of the test is about, right? It's about strategies, but especially reading. Timing strategies. How do you find the answer in the fastest way? Where are the answers even for these different question types? This is all information that you need to get a high score on reading. So, guys, if you do want all of the strategies, go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS and you'll get lifetime access to our IELTS course and personal feedback and scores on your final exam. So, let's get back to matching headings. All right. Um, so we know that they are main ideas. And main ideas are usually found in the beginning or the end of a paragraph. Okay. So these two pieces of information are vital to understand how these strategies work, right?
Yes, exactly, right? And you want to do what you can to not waste any time. So if you do read, the first line, the last line and still aren't finding it, skip to the next one. We're going to share a 3-step process for what you should do, but this is something
Nice.
students don't realize often.
Yeah.
If you get stuck on a question, you can waste so much time when often the best thing to do is skip to the next one, come back if you have time.
100%. This is what we say in our course, right? Never spend more than a minute looking for an answer. If you get to that minute and you haven't found it, skip it.
Yeah.
Come back later. And if you're doing computer IELTS, it's lovely because there's like a tab at the bottom with all the question numbers on there, and you could just mark it to review later. Like, it makes it really easy to come back. Okay, so let's get into this. What is the first step of our strategy?
Yeah. Step one is to skim the passage quickly. You only want to spend 1 minute just to skim it. And then you're going to be reading the beginning and end of every paragraph. And to practice this, you want to be reading things that have everyday English. You can skim newspaper articles,
Yeah.
magazine articles, books, right? Lots of different types of reading passages. You want to get used to just taking a minute to skim the whole thing, figure out what's the main idea, what is this about?
Exactly. Yeah, this is so easy to practice, guys. And it is a skill that you must isolate, right? Use it by itself and practice it by itself so you get strong at this specific skill. This is the foundation. This skimming step for 1 minute, this is the foundation for all of the reading strategies. Okay. We always skim the passage first. All right. So after we skim for 1 minute, then it's time to look at the questions. Um, the matching headings to paragraphs question is always before the passage, right? Doesn't matter. We still are going to skim the passage first. Okay. So step two is looking at the headings. Now, what do we do when we look at these possible headings?
Yeah, for each one, you underline keywords. These are names, numbers, important nouns,
Yeah.
right? Don't overthink it. There's not one right answer for which are the keywords. This is a way to help you focus on the important information in each of these headings.
Exactly, exactly. So this is another skill to practice, right? And if we're using newspapers, let's say, to practice skimming, you can do the same to practice scanning. Just focus on names and numbers, right? Because scanning is just looking for very specific information. That's all it is. So you could practice that. Let's say, okay, I'm only going to look for adjectives, or I'm going to look at the business section and only look for parallel expressions for money. Like, you can
Ah,
make this
smart.
up as
Yes.
you go. You can practice this. All right. So we have looked at the headings. We've underlined all the keywords in the headings. You have an idea what is on offer here, right? Hopefully, at this stage, you can also eliminate one or two of the headings. We know that headings are main ideas. So if you see a heading that you know is a specific detail, it's like Margaret's birthday was on the 8th of September. Just cross that off. That's not a main idea. You also have already skimmed the passage. You know what the main idea of the whole passage is. If you see a heading and you're like, this is not in this passage at all, eliminate it, cross it out, right? We are active when we're reading. Okay, so what is the last step? How do we actually find the answer?
Yeah. So you start with the first paragraph of the passage, right? Look at paragraph one, read the beginning, and now you're reading in detail. We're not skimming here. You're going to go back to the headings and try to match. Don't think too much about meaning, context. Just match those keywords. You're matching vocabulary, parallel expressions. Do you see words in the paragraph that mean the same thing as the headings? That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So we're looking at the beginning. We're trying to match keywords. If we can't match any keywords, we look at the end. We try to match keywords. If we still can't match anything, we skip it and go to the next one. But we're telling you guys, because we've tested out this strategy so many times. So many times. I even have taken the real IELTS exam to test all of these strategies. So only like one or two of all of the headings questions only one or two of those will not be found in the very beginning and end. All right. So if you can't match keywords, go to the next paragraph. It's fine. You only have to do that once or twice. So, Aubrey, this is an awesome three-step strategy that really shows our whole three keys concept, right? This is what we do for every single part of the IELTS exam. We boil everything down into three steps.
Exactly right. This is how it becomes very systematic and clear so that on test day, when you have a set of questions, you know, you have practiced, you have learned these three steps, these three keys for every single question type. You save yourself so much time. You can dive right in, do these three steps, and get questions right. Get a 9 on reading, like so many of our students have.
Exactly, exactly. So, guys, get into the three key system. It is guaranteed to raise your score, or we refund whatever you paid for the course and we pay for your exam. So, guys, go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS to check it out now. All right, Aubrey, thank you so much for sharing this matching headings to paragraph strategy.
Absolutely. Guys, go practice it. Practice getting those practice test reading answers right. These strategies, that's how you do it.
Awesome. All right, Aubrey, see you next time.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.